Good morning. Hopefully, everyone is safe and healthy. Um, just wanted to create this video to give you a little bit of an update about how the end of the school year is going to unfold. As you well know, school will be ending on May 13th of this year, May 13th, 2020. All e learning assignments need to be completed by May 20th. So you have until May 20th to get your e learning assignments done. Um, so I wouldn't wait till the last minute to get those done, being that you have multiple classes. Um, May 13th will be the last day of school. May 20th, all e-learning assignments have to be turned in. After that date, no grades will be accepted. Also, be checking the mail or check your emails every day. You may be getting some information from the school as to once the state reopens, how they're going to go about letting you come back into the school to get your personal belongings. Also, if you're a senior, there'll be important information coming out within the next uh, day or so, a week or so, as to how they're going to handle the procedures with our graduation and things of that nature. So, check your emails daily. Also, look in the mail or check with your parents to see if they've got any information about how the school is going to handle graduation for seniors. Just a reminder of the new e-learning schedule. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday will be a video lecture. Tuesday you'll have some work. Wednesday you'll have some e-learning work. But I'll also be available to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. Perhaps you may have turned in an assignment, I might have missed it, or just have questions in general. I'll be available during from 7:15 to 2:15 to answer questions, but more so I'll be able to answer your questions during the time that you have my class. It's also important that you please log in for your daily attendance. Daily attendance has to be logged in during the time you have my class. So whichever period you have me for a class, you know, log in by checking your email, checking your e-learning for today, and then send me an email. Let me know that you saw the assignment that you'll be working on it. That way, I'll give you credit for attendance. If you don't log in during the time that you have class, check in for attendance. You will be counted absent. This week, we'll be finishing up on chapter 16. Chapter 16 talks about risk management. Um, First part talks about identifying the risk. Then you need to manage the risk, and then the last part talks about credit risk. Um, as a sole proprietor or a sole proprietor or a person who's going into a partnership, whether it's a limited liability corporation or a general partnership, you have to identify risk on all levels. There's going to be some risk involved. Risk involved in, from an entrepreneur standpoint, we all invest a lot of time, money into a business, and that one little hidden thing is what they call risk. It could be risk of just starting a new business. If you're in a partnership, it could be the risk of your partner not doing their part. If you're in a corporation, it's even more risk. So this chapter just talks about all the possibilities of risk. As I said before, entrepreneurs, they are risk takers. Okay, okay, you're rolling the dice. It's just like at the casino. When you're an entrepreneur, you're rolling the dice. You're taking a risk. You're willing to assume the responsibility. Sometimes the risk is greater than the reward, and then other times it's not. So this chapter just gives you kind of a snapshot about what is risk, how to prepare for risk, how to plan for risk, and if those situations do come about, you will know how to handle the situation and circumstances. The first part, 16.1, we watched a few videos about how to identify risk. 16.2 talks about how to manage risk. And then the third part, section 16.3, talks about credit risk. Um, this goes through and gives you some things to think about when you talk about credit risk or risk in general. There are some things you can control by, as we said before, good management. And there's some things that you cannot control. You know, just like with the coronavirus right now, that's an uncertain risk that no one was prepared for. Also, they talked about natural risk. Things like we can't, like the weather, things like that. So risk is a part of life. We take risk every day, and this chapter just gives you some good ideas about what you should expect and risk from a business standpoint. Talks about things like shoplifting, burglary, robbery. Um, One of the number one things with businesses is employee theft. That comes from employees stealing money, or they're stealing food, or they're ghost employment, clocking hours they didn't have, fraud. They talked about investment. All these things you need to be aware of, not only on whether you're a big company or a small company. You always got to assume risk, be on the side of precaution. You know, don't trust anyone. Okay, anyone could be. Just don't trust anyone. Always be 2 or 3 hit steps ahead of the game. Also, it talks about economic and political risk. That has an effect on businesses too. As you can see right now with the coronavirus, the small businesses. When the government came out and issued out the money for small businesses, they didn't have enough money. So those mom and pop shops that applied for those loans, they didn't get a chance to get the money. Once again, the banks lend money to who they want to lend the money to. Is that fair? The chapter talks about all those type of things that goes on, and how to prepare for those, how to safeguard yourself from those things. It also talks about a little bit about different types of insurance. A lot of small businesses and stuff during this coronavirus incident. If you watch the news, they talked about their insurance is not paying for this coronavirus, and the insurance is saying that in their insurance clause, it doesn't have anything to do with a risk for a certain kind of disaster or disease. And so these small businesses are getting together to sue these insurance companies. There are some insurance small businesses who had it in their clause that in case of an infectious disease or anything abnormal, the insurance company was supposed to pay. But the insurance company is not one to pay, so there's another risk. We pay for insurance, and when we need it, we want to be compensated to get paid for it. Insurance is just a gamble. That's all insurance. Insurance is like playing a stock market. You take a gamble, and these small businesses are finding out that now they're paying all this their money for insurance, and when they need it, the insurance company is kind of trying to bail out on them and not wanting to pay. So that's another type of risk that you have to encounter. So um, the chapter just talks about all those things. So basically, what you need to do is just to really read over the chapter. Um, Last week, I told you to read the chapter 16 in its entirety and do section 16.1, 16.2. If you haven't done that, please go through and read the chapters, chapter 16, and um, just read it for understanding. And then tomorrow I'll post an assignment, and Wednesday I'll post an assignment pertaining to chapter 16, talking about risk. I'm just going to go basically the chapter from here on out. I'm just going to go over the basic points and meats and potatoes of the chapter. We might have like a little mini quiz or skill assessment just for me to check your knowledge. That way, I can put something in the book, and also it will recover the state standards. Once again, for those of you who have not been doing your learning assignments, for the most part, you guys have been doing a good job. Please get those assignments in. I have no problem failing you. If you don't do any work, I have no choice but to fail you. But if you show effort and do the work, you will get a good grade. I appreciate those who have been doing diligently, doing their work. I know some of you guys are kind of juggling a bunch of things, working and also trying to do your schoolwork. Then we have some who are just not doing anything at all. And when it comes to grading time, I will take that in consideration. So, with that being said, tomorrow and Wednesday, look for your e-learning assignments. And if you have any questions, concerns, just email me. Have a good day. God bless and be safe.